demons, deities, and dolls. Hi, how are you? How's it going? How's your life? Today, we're gonna talk about old faves. And not even just talking about old faves, but today's reading vlog, we're going to read old fucking faves. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm so ready. So excited. I have some perspective because it's like almost like the end of the vlog now. And I'm just like filming this intro so that I don't jar you with my unkempt face. I polled my patrons, my beautiful, beautiful patrons. By the way, if you're interested, you can always join. It's patreon.com/Jordaline reads. I polled them and I was like, which of these books, and I gave them like a little list, would you like to see me reread in a reading vlog? And they chose these 3 books. These were the top books chosen. The one that was like the most voted for, and it kind of surprised me to be honest, was Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Trombley. This is a meta possession story about this girl. Her family is like, we think you're possessed. She's like, blah, 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 because she's possessed. They, you know, think like, I know what we should do. We should invite a camera crew and producers and a whole fucking thing into our home to monetize this whole thing. So that's what they do. And it's basically about the younger sibling recounting what happened during that time. A very good book. Loved it the first time I read it. Loved it. I'm pretty sure this was number 2, and that is No One Gets Out Alive by Neville. I think in 2020, this was one of my favorite books of that year. It was the scariest. It freaked me out the most. I was very much afraid while reading this book. So in rereading it, I was very, very curious to see if it was still scary. And to be honest, it was a wild ride. But this is about this girl named Stephanie. She moves into a new place. It's like very cheap rent because she needs somewhere quick and cheap to live because she just moved away from her hometown, broke up with her fucking boyfriend. She's starting fresh. But this fresh start isn't great because on the first night, Stephanie begins to hear scratching, whispering, okay? Creepy shit that she shouldn't be hearing. But she does, and she hears it all in her room, in the fireplace, under her bed, like it's a whole thing. The book starts off immediately with a haunting, and you think that's what's going to be the scariest part. But I found out in this vlog, it is not. No, there are layers to this one, baby. The third book that they wanted me to read was The Devil of Non-King by Mo Hader. This is technically like a thriller novel, but in my mind, it lives as a horror novel because it did, in fact, frighten me. I've talked about it quite recently, I think. This is about this girl named Gray. She knows or has heard about this tape in Japan. And she's like, I know that this tape exists. People tell me it's not real, but I know it is. I know it is. So she goes to Japan, finds this dude that she heard or read knew about the tape. And she's like, hey, show me the tape, mister. And he's like, fuck no. Thus begins sort of Gray's kind of journey, adventure into things much, much darker than what she can handle. Much darker than what most people could handle. It's a lot, and the premise sounds weird, but trust me, it's a lot. I'm really looking forward to reading this to see if it is still, after all of these years, his heart palpitating. Because the first time I read it, man, I had a jumpy heart. I'm wondering if the second time I can have that same experience. I'm also curious to see if it's still as good as the first time I read it, because the first time I read it, I really liked the ending of the book and not so much the beginning of the book. So I'm curious to see if it's going to be the same sort of thing. Those are the 3 books that I'm going to be reading in this reading vlog. I'm so excited to share this experience with you, to see how things change and maybe how things don't change also. So come along with me on this little journey into the past, but also the present and maybe also the future. This is the intro. And, you know, roll the clip for the rest of the vlog. Roll the clip. Roll the clip. Roll it. Let it go. Let the clip roll. Go. Just roll the clip. I literally am just surrounded by imbeciles. And by imbeciles, I mean no one, because I'm alone in this room. I'm talking to no one. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Enjoy the vlog. Bye. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe because we're talking about spooky shit. Okay, bye. Hi. I'm going to assume that future me told you everything that you need to know about this vlog. So let's just cut into it. Let's just cut through the bullshit. It's currently 1:30 in the morning. I'm sort of like, bunkering down for bedtime, and I want to update you on how things are going so far because I've started one of the books, and my cat is very cuddly. I've started reading one of the books, and that book is No One Gets Out Alive by Adam Neville. I'm about 120 pages into it. My roommate and I were like, there's nothing to do. What should we do? So I was like, we should read. She read with me, which is crazy because we literally have never read together. Like, we've lived together for almost like 10 years and we've never sat down like in the same room and read, which is insane, like crazy to me. Like, my whole life is based around reading. How has it never happened? Anyway, so we read for about 2 hours or so, and I got about 100-ish pages in, and I have observations, okay? Because I've read this before, and I've said that it's very, very scary, very, very creepy, and like scared the bejesus out of me. And I do still think it's very creepy. I wasn't scared while reading it. And I think what it was is when I read it the first time, I was within like this perfect environment of like it being really late at night. It was dark. I had like a dimly lit room. It was definitely a thing of like isolation. I think that helped to like propel how creepy it was for me the first time. I also started annotating it as well. There are so many things that Adam Neville sort of brings up right off the bat, okay? And I'm noticing that. I'm noticing how much he's calling reference to things that are going to be very, very important later on, and sort of like almost like warning the reader just like a little bit about like oh, there's like the sound of polyphane, or the main character is having dreams, sort of like foreshadowing almost like the end of the novel. Like, it's very, very interesting, and things I didn't notice the first time I read it. And then what I also really noticed, and what has become like really apparent, although the first time I read it I certainly did notice it, but I'm really, really noticing it now, and that is just how it seems as though Adam Neville is playing on this fear, and I've said this before, that is like especially prevalent with women or girls, like the fear of men, basically. The landlords of the house where Stephanie is staying threaten verbally and non-verbally the act of violence, physical and sexual. And what I'm noticing is that, like, I think a lot of the fear and a lot of the anger that I feel about the book and like feel for Stephanie is geared towards her fear of the men of Knacker and Fergal, whatever, it's a stupid fucking name. And I think it's really interesting because it's not necessarily a thing in horror that I see very often, this sort of like terror that comes along with like being around men or feeling threatened by men or intimidated by men. And I'm noticing that Stephanie, like the main character, is sort of like almost like shrinking herself. She'll have outbursts and like say what she really feels to Knacker the moment they react, with sort of like, again, the nonverbal, being like white in the face, kind of like sort of straining their muscles, like just like really gearing into the physicality of themselves, that she kind of like makes herself smaller, becomes aware that she needs to become appeasing to them. A whole aspect of the horror that I did not see before, because before I was like, spooky ghosts are spooky, but no, what's really fucking scary about this book is the men in the book, and not even just like Knacker or Fergal, but also like any other sort of like side character. Like, she calls her fucking ex-boyfriend and is like, hey, I like really need help, and she's obviously in desperate trouble, and he's very much like playing it off of like, well, you'll figure it the fuck out, won't you? Or almost seemingly sort of like downplaying how bad it is for her. Like, she's not that afraid of the ghosts. What she's really afraid of, I think, in my little bird brain, is Knacker, is Fergal, is the men, and like what they're gonna do to her if she doesn't get the fuck out of there, because she knows that something isn't fucking right, that something a little bit spish is happening. It's so good. I wanted to read you this quote because I really related to it. And just Stephanie as a character, I'm really relating to again. Page 31, by the way. After 6 months away from the family home, she knew it was how demoralizing these places changed you that needed to be resisted. She always resisted them. Character building, others might have said about her experiences. But that was also a cliche and easy to say when it wasn't your character being built by adversity. So good. Such a good quote. And another thing, and I know I'm only 130 pages in and I already have so many thoughts. But I think another sort of big theme in the book, and I know that this is almost like a fucking book report or something, but like also Jordaline's kind of smart sometimes, so get used to it. Anyway, another theme in the book that I'm noticing is very much like the poor stay poor. Okay, like if you're born into poverty, if you are impoverished, like you're gonna stay impoverished and like you're gonna continue to struggle. And Stephanie throughout the beginning of the book just keeps asking herself, like, how did I get here? Why is this happening? Why am I here? How did this become my fucking life? And it's very much this question, I think, in my opinion, of her reflecting on like, why was I dealt these cards? Why am I underprivileged in terms of like financial stability or whatever? And I think that's a really big part as well of like the other women who eventually come into the book. I haven't gotten to that part yet, but eventually more women come into the book, and it's because they're kind of exploited by these, again, men, because they're in lower financial straits. Is that the right word? It's so interesting. One last thing I want to mention is just how much parts of the book remind me of Rosemary's Baby. There was a dream sort of sequence that really reminded me a lot of the dream sequence that Rosemary has in the film, because I haven't read the book because I'm a piece of shit. But anyway, there's a scene in the movie where Rosemary is being R-worded, and Rosemary sort of disassociates from her body and starts to like remember memories from her childhood. And there was a scene or a dream sequence in this book that reminded me a lot of that. So I'm wondering, honestly, if Adam Neville was inspired by Rosemary's Baby at all. I'm really fucking loving this. Really fucking loving it. Again, but that's not surprising because it's one of my favorite horror novels, and I'm really excited to continue reading it. I think I'm going to keep reading it tonight, maybe for like another half an hour or so, and then keep reading it tomorrow, obviously. And then I don't know if I want to read The Devil of Non-King left, or if I want... left. I don't know if I want to read The Devil of Non-King next, or if I want to read Headful of Ghosts. I think I might read Headful of Ghosts and then leave Devil of Non-King for last. I don't know. Anyway, that's my update, and I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna get comfy and continue reading, so bye.
아직도 난 격이 흐릿하게 또 의미하게 나의 아니 자주 난
Hello, it is I, Jordaline, your Amish friend. I'm about to film fairly soon. I've been waiting for the sun to go down because I really like the way it looks when it's kind of like dark, kind of like the candles in the background, and I just put on my lip for the video, and I thought maybe I could just like talk to you for like a second, brief moment of your time so we could talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. If you can hear singing, by the way, it's my roommate downstairs. She's like practicing, I think, and so I hope you can't hear it. It's a bit distracting. So I was listening to the audiobook for No One Gets Out Alive today while I was getting ready, and I still really like it. I'm not as creeped out as I was the first time, which kind of makes sense considering that I know what's gonna happen. Like I know everything that's like I understand and I know what's coming next. So it makes sense that I wouldn't be like frightened because I know what's gonna happen. But at the same time, I do kind of miss the spooky feeling. I do miss feeling spooked out by everything. Although I will say, actually, my cat's like moved in the background and I like jumped like while I was listening to it. That was something. I am surprised still and again with just how critical the book is of not only like sex work and like female exploitation, but also of like the power imbalances between men and women within the patriarchal society. I don't want my reading of the book to be just like feminism, whatever, but at the same time it's like a big part of like what I'm paying attention to in the novel. And then there's so much foreshadowing in this book that I did not pick up on the first time I read it. Like, she keeps having dreams where parts of the book that are closer to the end are sort of being foreshadowed in the dreams. And it's just, and I didn't notice. And other things, again, I didn't notice. I wasn't paying attention to. But now that I'm like reading it again, I'm seeing it. Anyway, I'm going to start filming very, very soon. So I'm going to let you go. I'll see you later. Okay, bye.
Feel like falling deeper. Cold nights 난 너무 싫어. 기다리기에는 너무 길어. 줬던 내 사랑이 식어. 기대만 하는 것도 난 힘들어. No, I can't, just can't. 가져 내 맘을, 놔줘 내 가슴을 다 바쳐 사랑하기엔 자신이 너무 걱정돼 바보 같은 생각이야. 알아 멍청해. 상상만으로도 좋은 상상만으로도 힘든 이중적인 면을 가지고 있어. 사랑이라는 걸. Come with me, can't you hold my hand and leave. 근데 있잖아 너라면 다를까 생각이 들어. 해볼까 말까 내 다리가 걸어 가는 방향이 어딘지 서로 궁금해져 버려. 애써 맘 졸여 하늘만 보면서 언제쯤 알게 될까. 너도 나와 같은 생각을 하고 있을까. 한참을 멍하니 보다 보니 살짝
It is, I think, about 6:30 p.m. right now. It's gorgeous outside. It's very like summery. It's like windy. There's like a breeze coming in. Maybe you can tell. It's very nice. I've just been spending the whole day editing my summer TBR video. And also in the back of my mind, thinking about my like schedule for content next week. I don't really plan that far ahead. I probably should. To chill out for the rest of the evening, I'm going to, I think, do something in my reading journal. I think I want to make a spread for No One Gets Out Alive, which, by the way, halfway through the book, arguably the most scary part of the book. You know how yesterday when I was like, I'm not afraid, I'm not scared like I was the first time. Do you remember that? I remember. I am. I am kind of creeped up. It still scares me. Specifically, there's one specific scene that like really fucking creeped me out. Like I read it and I was like, oh, scene where she's sort of like alone in her room and she can hear whispering on her ceiling. Like it's somebody in her room, but it's almost as though they're like on her ceiling and sort of going in circles. It's like very, very late at night. So she starts to try to like get to her front door so she can turn on her light. As she's standing, she then hears somebody like scream in her face, and it's described as though somebody was like hanging upside down in front of her face. Their mouth was like level with her eyes, and that image just like stuck. So what I'm gonna do is work on my reading journal, and at the same time I'm gonna listen to the audiobook for No One Gets Out Alive, as you may have actually already seen as well. I ordered new stickers and they came in the mail and I'm really excited to use them. They're all really cute. And then also this giant ink pad, because I bought a calendar stamp Anyway, this is all very boring. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
위험해 이 순간 분위기가 심장이 뛰고 있네 아무 생각 안 나게 꽉 끌어서 타이트하게 널 감싸줄래 상상만 했던 너의 실루엣이 내 눈앞에 난 느낌대로 가는 거야 Oh no baby 내가 할게 리드 넌 내가 시키는 대로 해 너와 나만 아는 비밀이야 서로 위로해 이불을 꽉 조져 Let's rotate Take me to your paradise Just take me to your paradise Take me to your paradise Paradise Baby please Take me to your paradise
Hi. I think it's like 3:30 p.m. I honestly woke up not that long ago. Maybe like an hour and a half ago. Because I did not sleep for shit last night. You ever have those days? By the way, I did my nails. You ever have those days where you like wake up and you barely have the will to live? That's like how I feel today. So I think what I'm gonna do is just spend the day reading. I might go live with my patrons. I haven't done any reading sprints with them besides our usual Sunday sprints, which is weird for me, but anyway, this is all meandering. Basically, I'm at part 2 of the book. I just started it. If you've read the book, you know what that means. If you haven't, read the book. You'll find out. Last like 3 chapters or 4 chapters before the second half of the book is wild, okay? It is wild. It's like my favorite part of the whole book because it's just so satisfying. It's so satisfying. Stephanie still fucking love this. Like, is that surprising? I don't think it is. I'm gonna finish No One Gets Out Alive today. I'm gonna finish it. We also have Vaseline Steve coming over tonight. This is all stupid. Nobody cares. Okay, I will see you later. Okay, bye. Hi. So, it's been a whole day. Why did my mouth do that? It's been a whole day. I haven't updated you at all, but I thought I would make this little check-in, let you know a few things. First of all, pretty sure I'm sick. I think I have like a cold or something. I took a rapid test and it was negative for COVID, so haven't got COVID yet, bitch. still fucking evading her. But in terms of the reading, the books, I finished No One Gets Out Alive last night. I was in the office and I was working on my little mini journal, which I still don't know what to do with. And I was listening to the audiobook, and like towards the end, I was getting really creeped out because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, dead at night. You know, I'm alone in the office, just, you know, crafting and like listening to just like, you know, ghost spooky things happening, and just like getting like scaring myself, just like trying constantly like looking over my shoulder, making sure that no one's behind me, because it was literally frightening. I was literally frightened. I was such a fucking pussy, and I loved it. I loved it. Again, I loved it. I saw things that I didn't see the first time, which is what I'm finding through this vlog. What I love about rereading is that I'm seeing things that I kind of missed the first time. The only thing I'm really changing my mind about with No One Gets Out Alive is kind of like the ending. Like the epilogue isn't so much like an epilogue as it is just kind of like, and now we're done, and like that's it, it's over. There's no real sort of like come to Jesus moment. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe the whole book is a come to Jesus moment, but the ending of the book, you go very quickly from like the like climax, resolution to ending. Like it all happens very, very quickly. And that's, okay, my cat is like taking this opportunity to do his own ASMR. Like, sir. It's just crinkling in the background. Anyway, I didn't love that. I was almost like surprised, to be honest, at the end. Like I was expecting there to be like another chapter, like something else. And it was just like, thank you so much for listening. And I was like, well, that's it? That it ends? I mean, but I guess I get it. It's like a 600-page book. I don't know if it was probably like, I don't want to like lead these bitches on. Either way, really fun book. Really still fucking scary. Still creep me the fuck out. Especially Black Maggie. Black Maggie, the second time around, I really like saw her in my mind's eye. And I was like, this bitch is like evil, but also like creepy as fuck, especially when she makes her like grand appearance at the end. Like, it's not pretty, it's not cute, it's like really fucking creepy. And like all of her little ghosts and stuff that like hang around her, no thank you, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. So I finished that last night. I woke up today, well rested, with snot coming out of my nose. It was very attractive. And I was like, I have to do sprints. So I did Sunday sprints with the Patreon, with the patrons. Literally love all of them. They're literally the best. My patrons, I don't know, man. There's just something about it. We're just like kindred spirits, I feel. Anyway, so I did that, and I started reading A Head Full of Ghosts. I almost started reading Devil of Non-King. Then I was like, no, my heart, for some reason, my heart is telling me to go with Head Full of Ghosts. So my brain is fuzzy. It's been fuzzy the past few days. I don't know what's going on, but I'm fuzzy. Anyway, so I started reading Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Trombley. And again, I love this. I love it. There's so much about it that I like literally forgot about, that I literally didn't even like remember. So there's been scenes where I'm like, holy fuck, I forgot about that. Either it's like super fucking creepy, or it's like a whole like piece of a puzzle that I didn't have, before. I probably have about 2 hours left or so in the audiobook. I'm probably gonna finish it tonight. So this is the thing that I'm really struggling with while I'm reading it, is if Paul Trombley is using this comparison between demonic possession and like mental illness, and whether that comparison or whether that sort of connection is inherently problematic or useful. I'm trying to be like critical of it, and I know how the book ends. I'm thinking about it, and I'm trying to like piece together if Paul Trombley is making this assertion that people with mental illnesses, whether that be like schizophrenia or BPD or even like depression or something like that, or even bipolar, whether these people are like violent, which, as we all know, put your hand on your heart, because you know that that's scientifically and proven not the case. So I'm wondering, when I get to the ending of the book, if I'm going to have issues with the ending based on what I remember of it. I also have to talk about this because it's something that I noticed like right out the fucking gate, the moment I started listening to it. The younger sister character, we're listening to her tell her story as like an adult, as like a 20-something. Her voice, her characterization reminds me of like a John Green character, but like not in a good way. Like, no shade to John Green, you gotta work, bitch, you gotta pay your fucking bills somehow. But it reminds me of this like idyllic male fashioned version of a woman, like a pixie dream girl, where she's quirky but it's never cliche, where she says all the right things but it's never cringy, like that kind of thing. I'm noticing it, and it's a bit cringy because I'm noticing it. But that's just something that I'm noticing about her character and how he's written her. It doesn't read as authentic for me as it did the first time when I read it. But either way, besides all that, I am intrinsically interested and just fascinated by, is her name Margaret? No, it's not Margaret. The younger girl is Mary. The older sister is Marigold. I can't remember the fucking names. I have a horrible menu. I have a horrible memory. I have a horrible menu. She's just intrinsically interesting because you see the fact that she's aware of how her behavior affects others. And you can also kind of see her like delusions as well, and how she sort of convinces herself that her behavior is in fact helping other people, and is in fact like giving them some kind of motivation, some kind of thing to do, where she thinks that she's helping her family. And it's interesting. And it's also interesting to see the relationship between the younger sister and her older sister, where there's definitely, of course, a power imbalance, but there's this very like quick switch between like saying the most fucked up shit to this little girl, and then cut that, come here, hug me, be close to me, let me sing to you, let me tell you stories, let me love you, immediately after saying the most horrific shit to a child. Like, it's so interesting. I'm really enjoying myself despite the criticism that I have. I do really like it, and again, I think I'm probably going to finish it today. Again, I have 2 hours left in my audiobook, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down to the office and journal some more, do some more crafting, because that's who I am now. And yeah, I'm going to do that. Anyway, I will see you soon. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye, 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 bye. Hi. So it's been it's been a full day. I woke up quite late. I slept for a long time, like much longer than I intended to. Sorry, my cat is getting comfortable. There we go. I finished Head Full of Ghosts. Finished it in one day. Very short book, very easy to get through, especially if you listen to the audiobook. So I would recommend it if you're looking for something that's easy to get through. Okay, every single time he sees the camera, he sees that I'm doing something, and he thinks that this is my moment to shine. Bitch, I'm Jordaline. I am. Not you. Although he wants it to be. Anyway, the ending of A Head Full of Ghosts. I don't know how I feel about it. But let's start from the beginning. I take back kind of what I said about the female girl's voice being sort of like John Greeny. I don't not think it doesn't sound like John Green, or like John Green trying to be a woman. That sounds weird. But I think there's a purpose for it, but I do still think that the voice itself is cringy. That there were moments where the characters, specifically the women, were a little bit, I don't know, wonky. Do you know what I mean? Like there were certain parts where I was like, what a 14-year-old say that? Like it sounds cool, sounds great, you know, it sounds like she's like deep or whatever, but like what a 14-year-old girl fucking say that? And then the ending. What is the ending saying? That's what I'm trying to ask myself. I'm like, what message is there in this ending? What are we trying to get across with this ending? And I genuinely don't know. Let me say this. If you are thinking, let me go into A Head Full of Ghosts because I want to be scared, because I want to read a horror novel. No. We're not. No. This book is not scary. It is, in my opinion, more psychological than it is frightening. So don't go into this book and be like, oh my gosh, I'm about to read this like crazy possession story. You're not. You're really, really not. What I will say actually has to do with religion. And it's something that I didn't pick up the first time I read this book, was how critical Trombley is of religion in the novel. You see their father and you think, this is the man who has truly lost it. This is a man who has sort of disintegrated, I suppose, with the help of organized religion and its greed. And then you see the religious figures like the father, and you think, and there is somebody who is not there because they care about a 14-year-old girl who could be suffering from some sort of demonic possession. You see a man who is there to make his name in terms of like fame, and then also to get some money, get that coin, get the bag, get everything besides. Like there seems to be no empathy or compassion, or like authentic empathy or compassion for the possession. Instead, it is very much like, this is the best thing for us, for the church, but we, oh my gosh, we care so much for poor Marigold. What's her name again? Like, also something I didn't notice the first time I read it, fucking Paul Trombley like shouts out Stephen Graham Jones like at the end of the book. He names a character after Stephen Graham Jones and says his name like fucking 10 times. I still do not know how I feel about the ending. Right now though, I'm thinking I'm going to keep my rating of 4.5 stars. Maybe bump it down to 4 stars. Because I did really enjoy the book. The book is compelling. It's easy. It's fun because it also incorporates all these like references to older horror, to newer horror. It's a lot of fun. But I don't know how I feel about the depiction of mental illness, specifically like schizophrenia, it seems. I mean, because schizophrenia already has such a fucking bad rap that, like, do we really need somebody else? Do we really need Paul Trombley to come out here and be like, schizophrenics are, like, violent? Like, I don't think we need that. So I don't know. Let me try to paint you this picture of where I'm coming from. I'm thinking either Paul Trombley didn't do any of his research in terms of, like, what schizophrenia looks like, if that is what he's trying to depict, or he's trying to paint a picture about how mental illness in general gets demonized, like literally. I don't know. I mean, do I need to know? That's also the question. Like, should I even give a flying fuck? I don't know. So that's where I'm at. I think I'm just gonna like lay down in bed and get to reading it. It's also not a very long book. I might be able to finish it today. Anyway, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna start reading. I'm gonna stop fucking chatting your face off. Okay, I will see you very soon. Oh, actually no, before I go, my expectations for The Devil I'm Not King, which is something that I should have done for the other books, but I didn't. So, The Devil I'm Not King, what I'm expecting the beginning to be boring, because that's how I felt about it the first time, and I'm expecting the last half of the book to be super fucking tense and suspenseful and like legit kind of scary. That's what I'm expecting. We'll see. Okay, see you soon. Bye. Hi. It's been a day. I think it's like 6 p.m., maybe 7 p.m.-ish. Excuse the background. This office is a mess because of me, because of my crafting. I've just basically created like a tornado and then never cleaned up after myself. And Nico is being a little bitch. Anyway. So last night I listened to more of The Devil I'm Not King, and I have some cursory thoughts, probably about maybe like 25-30% of the way through the book. I have about 5 hours left of the audiobook, and maybe I'm more than that. Anyway, I have opinions so far. Just based on the story, based on the plot, based on the characters, I'm really enjoying myself much more than I enjoyed myself the first time. Because I remember the first time I read the book, the first 40% of the book I thought was so fucking boring. I did not care. It was only like the second half of the novel that really captivated me. I'm not finding that to be the same this time at all. This time I'm very much like enjoying myself. I'm enjoying spending time with Gray and with oh my god, I literally forget his name, but the other main character. And I think it's interesting as well, knowing what I know about the book, having read it once before, how many times it's kind of like alluded to, like as to what's going to happen at the end. Similar to No One Gets Out Alive. There's like quite a bit of foreshadowing that I'm noticing. So far, things are coming together. What I'm also noticing, and what I didn't notice the first time, is how entitled Gray is, like the main lead sort of female character, Gray. She goes up to this man, this older Chinese man, and is like, hey, show me this tape. And he's like, first of all, no. Second of all, no. Like, fuck you. I'm not doing that. It's, of course, traumatic. Nothing speaks more to, like, British imperialism than just this white girl being like, show me your trauma. And then after being told no, is, like, persistent. And, like, that's the thing as well. She's, like, persistent. He's like, no. It's upsetting, you know, obviously. And then she's like, well, it's really important to me. It's very important for me. I need to see this. Oh, yikes. So I don't know how I feel about Gray. She is a very strange character. I don't know how to feel about her. I don't know. I also want to do more research on Non-King because I don't know that much about it. And I was realizing that as I was reading the book. I think I might want to do my own independent research. Anyway, I am really enjoying the book. I do love the weird kind of like, I don't know. It's almost like a fever dream kind of feeling of the book. And I like that. I like it quite a bit. I'm excited to go further to see what's going to happen. I mean, I know what's going to happen, but there are parts of the book that I'm really looking forward to. Anyway, I am going to do my makeup kind of because I am gonna film the intro to this video because I think I'm gonna upload it on Thursday. So I'm gonna do that. And then actually, you know what? I got in the mail one of the most anticipated books of the year for me personally, and that is Welcome Back, Alice by Shuzo Oshimi. So I'm gonna start getting ready and I'm gonna keep listening to the audiobook of Non-King. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye. Hi. So I have finished Non-King. By the way, excuse how I look. I know I look insane. I'm wearing my pajamas. My hair looks crazy. Like, forget it. Just forget it. Just don't even pay attention to it. I know what I look like. You don't need to tell me. It's been a rough day. I did not sleep last night. I am currently going off of yesterday's fumes. The latest bit of fun in my life personally is insomnia, and she's great. She's so fun. Anyway, let's talk about Non-King because this is going to be the last clip of the vlog. This is the end of the vlog. So let's talk about Non-King. Where I left you, what I remember saying was that I was enjoying the plot and that I was excited to get to like the scary parts. From what I remember of the like scary parts, they were a lot more scary. And in fact, what was really uncomfortable for me wasn't even the part that I like remember being super uncomfortable. If you've read the book, just everything to do with Jason at the end of the novel is like, it's anxiety inducing because you don't know what happened, and that makes it worse. It makes it so much worse. But I do have theories as to what happened. I think I know what happened to him. I'm not going to say anything, no spoilers, but I have theories. Anyway, that part of the book, I was the most sort of like, you know, like mind blown. The other part of the novel that I remember just feeling really, really anxious, really, really sort of like pent up, you know what I mean? About, I didn't have that big of a reaction to. mainly because I knew what to expect, I think. But what I actually was surprised about was certain plot points. I literally forgot one of the biggest plot points of the book. I literally forgot. So it was literally like reading it for the first time, because I was like, oh, oh my gosh, plot twist. Like, as if I hadn't read it before. So that was new. Overall, a very good thriller. I don't know if it's gonna continue to live on in my mind as like horror, but it certainly was a really, really good thriller. And I'm glad I reread it, because it was a lot of fun. If you haven't read it and you're interested, I would 100% check it out, read it. It's a barrel of monkeys, okay? And the nurse is maybe one of the scariest characters. But overall, this rereading experience has been wonderful. I've taken a longer, harder look into things that I already looked into, and that in itself is kind of rewarding. And by kind of, I mean it is rewarding. I've had a lot of fun doing this and like rereading my old favorites. I think I'm probably gonna do it again, for sure. Gonna do it again, maybe with something even more fucked up though. That could be kind of fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this vlog. If you watched the whole way through, I know how long it is. So if you watched all the way through, God bless. You're an angel. You do the Lord's work. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because we talk about spooky shit. We talk about creepy shit. We talk about what happened to Jason. And shit. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!